So Friday, February 13, nice trending day. So we've had most of the week's been pretty rangy, pretty balanced, based on where we were on longer charts. But we've finally had a breakout here, which is the sort of thing I prefer. I usually do much better in trending markets than ranging. So we had this big drop off. I did try a short here. Basically as we sort of came up and dipped back in, I did try a short there and I got stopped out. So I started off with a loss, nothing major. And then basically we reclaimed the bottom edge of this distribution. And then once we pushed up and reclaimed that, that's when I started taking some long trades. So I caught that one. Then we dipped under. I think I actually missed a lot of this, but I did get long here for this flush, this breakout here, so I caught a lot of that move, and then I think I took another one in here somewhere, and then this move here. So I did go long once we had this aggressive selling at the bottom. We had a push up. I went long there, and I added as we flushed under that one last time, and then basically I caught a break of the high up in here. And then I took one more long, targeting the 5,000. I think it was possibly in here. Caught that, and then at that point I just left it at that point. So up, nice and healthy day. Up 3,752 for the day. That puts me up 11,852 for the week. That's US dollars. So that's about 16 grand AUD for the week's trading, which is a massive trading week for me. That's the biggest trading week I've ever had. To make 16K in a week trading like an hour or two a day is pretty great in terms of P&L. So I'm going to pull half of that out. So I'll be taking a profit split of 8,000. I'll be submitting that later tonight. So basically get 8 grand in my bank from this week's trading, and then I'll come into next week with some good cushion as well in terms of drawdown. So it puts me in a good position to obviously take a really nice payout, 8K, and then next week I'll have pretty decent drawdown to work with. So I should be able to build from there as well. But pretty interesting week really for gold. It's so you can see essentially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you can see all week we had this big sideways range. So we basically it was just balance all week, right? So just balance all week, and then now we had a dump. And then now we're getting some actual movement. So we had a dump, and then we're now having a rally back up, probably back up into this overall area. So, so a very sideways week, which made it pretty difficult for trading. It's not that I can't trade sideways days. It's just that when it trends like this, when there's an obvious, especially when we get a dump, and there's obviously some trap shorts, especially like this and this big push. That's when you can sort of, well, at least for how I trade, that's where I can sort of step on a lot of these little imbalances and continue to ride the trend up. So don't know what next week will bring. We might just wind up in this next session pushing back up into this range and then balancing again. But either way, really strong week. Puts me up about 10 grand for the month in terms of payouts. So in my bank account, about 10K, and we're 2 weeks into the month, so it's already double what my target is. My target's around 5K a month in income from trading. As I'm doing this full time, that basically covers everything for me, expenses and everything else. So to be up 10K already, that's double what I need in a month, and we've got 2 weeks to go, so potentially can take more out. But yeah, great week. Last week I was down 1,000. And then this week I'm up, up 11,000, and then I'll take 8 out. So all in all, pretty good week.